Good evening, and welcome back to Zenith Players online Shakespeare readings. Thank you for joining us for our reading of Macbeth. I would like to, first of all, dedicate this evening's performance to all of our first responders, our doctors and nurses who are out there making sure that we are all safe. I know it's been a very stressful time for them. I know there are some of them that will be listening this evening and some that are even joining us. So I'd like to just take a minute and extend our thanks to them. For those who may not know, Zenith Players is a totally volunteer theater group. We are located in New Jersey, and we are very fortunate in that we are able to bring these readings to life online. Like many other theater groups, we found ourselves without the ability to rehearse or perform our current show because we are all practicing social distancing and we are all locked down and making sure that we all remain safe. So we didn't want the arts to end. We wanted drama to continue. So we decided to do weekly online Shakespeare readings. We had no idea that it would take off in the way that it has. And there's been some great response. So in addition to our Shakespeare readings, we are also adding some other kinds of performances. So some things that you'll see coming up are a Shakespeare sonnet slam, and we are going to be doing a Sherlock Holmes series as well. Next weekend, I'm very happy to announce that our next Shakespeare reading will be The Taming of the Shrew. So I hope you join us Saturday evening for that. If you are at all interested in joining us for a reading, or if you're at all interested in our theater company, please email us at casting@zenithplayers.com, or you can even send us a Facebook message. Our tech director will get back to you as soon as possible. I would like to extend a very special thank you and welcome to our own Master Shakespeare. You can find his information at Shakespeare Approves, your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare. He is such a talented individual and he cares so much about keeping the arts alive. It's really important, and please give his page a visit his Patreon. I will post the links in the comments below, and I will also mention it again at the end of the reading. Again, that Shakespeare Approves. Our cast this evening is performing from the comfort of their own homes and the safety of their own homes. They're all volunteers, and I want to thank them with all of my heart because they are just here because they love it and they just want to participate and they want to be a part of just really getting out and relaxing as best we can in this really unpredictable time. Thank you again for joining us, and I will now hand it off to Master Shakespeare.
The tragedy of the play that shall not be named. Sorry, The Tragedy of Macbeth by William Shakespeare. Starring as the Weird Sisters, Gwen Walk, Sarah Decker, and Casey Lee Siljan. Malcolm, Duncan's eldest son, Kyle Walton. Donalbain, Duncan's younger son, Grace Arlene. Duncan's captain, Gwen Walk. The Thane of Glamis, Macbeth, played by Russell Slater. Lady Macbeth, played by Julie Garska. Satan, attendant to Macbeth, Andrew Gallows. The first murderer and first apparition, Sean Buckley. Second murderer, Gwen Walk. The second apparition, Grace Arlene. The third murderer and third apparition, Christian Recker. Hecate, Marie Nicole. Lady Macbeth's doctor, Marie Nicole. Her gentlewoman, Lorraine Ruth Rosenberg. The porter, essayed by Shakira Cyril. Banquo, commander of Duncan's army, Emily Brennan. Fleance, his son, Juliana Frasca. Macduff, a Scottish noble, David Chulanandana. Lady Macduff, Emily Durango. Their son, Emily Brennan. Scottish nobles, Lennox, played by Debbie Lockwood. Ross, by Bill Nutt. Angus and Caithness, Patrick Brockway. Menteith, George Levine. Seward, commander of the English forces, Sandra Levine. Young Seward, Seward's son, Jake Wallace. An old man, Erica Vieira. Messenger and Lord, Myra Singer. And your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare as Duncan, the King of Scotland. Macbeth, Act 1, Scene 1. And enter three witches with thunder and lightning.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun. Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth. I come, Grey Malkin.
Paddock calls.
Anon. Fair is foul, and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air.
They exit. Act 1, Scene 2. Alarum within. Enter King Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Lennox with attendants, meeting a bleeding captain. What bloody man is that? He can report as seemeth by his plight of the revolt of the new estate.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hardy soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him. From the western isles of kerns and gallowglasses is supplied, and fortune on his damned quarrel smiling. Showed like a rebel's whore, but all's too weak. For brave Macbeth, well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution, like valor's minion, carved out his passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands, nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman!
As whence the sun gains his reflection, shipwracking storms and direful thunders break, so that spring, whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark. No sooner justice had, with valor armed, compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this, our captains, Macbeth and Banquo.
Yes, as sparrows eagles, or the hare the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks, so they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe, except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another Golgotha. I cannot tell, but I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honor both. Go, get him to surgeons. Who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
What a haste looks through his eyes, so should he look that seems to speak things strange.
God save the king!
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that Bologna's bridegroom, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness.
That now Sweno, the Norway's king, craves composition. Nor would we deign him burial of his men, till he dispersed it at St. Colm's Lynch, $10,000 to our general use.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go, pronounce his present death, and, with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won. They exit. Act 1, Scene 3. Thunder! Enter the witches 3.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou? A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I. Anoint thee, rich, The rump-fed Runyon cries. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger. But in a sieve I'll sail hither. And like a rat without a tail, I'll do, and I'll do.
I'll give thee a wind.
Thou'rt kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other, and the very ports they blow, all the quarters that they know. In the shipman's card, I'll drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live a man forbid. Weary 7 nights, 9 times 9 shall he dwindle, peak and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest tossed. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb racked as homeward he did come.
A drum, Macbeth doth come.
The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land.
Thus do go about, thrice to thine and thrice to mine.
And thrice again to make up 9. Peace, the charms wound up.
Enter Macbeth and Banquo.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is it called to forest? What are these, so withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on it? Live you? Or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me, by each at once her choppy finger laying upon her skinny lips. You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak if you can, what are you?
All hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail, Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are you fantastical? Or that indeed, which outwardly you show? My noble partner you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail!
Hail.
Hail.
Lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers, tell me more. By Sinel's death I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such pathetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
The earth hath bubbles as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air. And what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too, were it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
To Ross and Angus.
King hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises, which should be thine or his. Silenced with that, in viewing o'er the rest of the self-same day, he finds thee in the stout Norwegian ranks, nothing afeard of what thyself did make, strangers of death. As thick as tale came post with post, and every one did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defense, and poured them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee.
For in earnest of a greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What, can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help advantage, or with both he labored his country's wrack, I know not. But treason's capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor, the greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be king? Those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promise no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you into the crown besides the Thane of Cawdor, but 'tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths. Win us with honest trifles to betray us in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray you.
Two truths are told as happy prologues well enacted of the imperial theme. I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting, it cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me, yes, commencing in a truth, I am Thane of Cawdor? If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, murder yet is but fantastical shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise and nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partner's wrapped.
If chance will have me king, why chance may crown me without my stir.
New honors come upon him like our strange garments, cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Well, give me your favor. Was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king. Think upon what has chanced, and at interim having weighed it, let us speak our free hearts, each to the other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Friends.
They exit. Act 1, Scene 4. Flourish. Enter King Duncan, Lennox, Malcolm, Donalbain, and attendants. Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back, but I spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that, very frankly, he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it. He died as one that had been studied in his death, to throw away the dearest thing he owed as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the man's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. Oh, worthiest cousin! The sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved that the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The service and loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state children and servants which do but what they should, by doing everything safe towards your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, thou hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There, if I grow, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor must not be unaccompanied, invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down or else overleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let light not see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
True, worthy Banquo. He is full, so valiant, and his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome, and is a peerless kinsman. Flourish. They exit. Act 1, Scene 5. Enter Macbeth's wife, alone with a letter.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfect's report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air into which they vanished. Whiles I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came massives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me and referred me to the coming on of time with Hail King that shall be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'dst have great Glamis, that which cries, thus thou must do if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do, than wishest should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal.
Enter the messenger.
The king comes here tonight.
Thou'rt mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who, were it so, would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe, tupful of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the excess and passage to remorse that no compunctions, visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the affectionate. Come to my women's breasts and take my milk for gall, your murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substance you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold!
Enter Macbeth.
Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all here hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instance.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters, to beguile the time, look like the time, bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue, look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
They exit. Act 1, Scene 6. Hot boys and torches. Enter King Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Banquo, Lennox, Macduff, Ross, Angus, and attendants. The castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple-haunting martlet does approve by his loved mansionry that the heaven's breath smells wooingly here. No jutty, frieze, buttress, nor quan of vantage, but this bird hath made his pendant bed and procreate cradle. Where they most breed and haunt, I have observed, the air is delicate.
Enter Lady Macbeth. See our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometimes is our trouble, which still we thank as love. Herein I teach you how you shall bid God ill us for your pains, and thank us for your trouble.
All our service in every point twice done and then done double, were poor and single business to contend against those honors deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old and the late dignities heaped up to them, we rest your hermits.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the hills and had a purpose to be his purveyor. But he rides well, and his great love, sharp as his spur, hath helped him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guest tonight.
Your servants ever have theirs themselves, and what is theirs in comp to make their audit at your highness's pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess. They exit. Act 1, Scene 7. Hot boys, torches, and to a sewer and divers servants, with dishes and service o'er the stage. Then enter Macbeth.
If it were done when it were done, it were done quickly. Yet the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his success. That but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here, but here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we do but teach bloody instruction, which being taught returns to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye. The tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the side of my, but only vaulting ambition which overleaps itself and falls upon the other. How now, what news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honoured me of late, and I have brought golden opinion from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time, such I account thy love. Art thou afeared to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would like the poor Kativievich?
Prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was in that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail.
We fail? But screw your courage to this stick-in place and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard tourney soundly invite him, his 2 chamberlains will I with wine and vassals so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be but a fume, and the receipt of reason Olympic only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lies as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men, children only. For thy undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy 2 of his own chamber and used their very daggers that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other when we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
They exit. End of Act 1. Act 2, Scene 1. Enter Banquo and Fleance with a torch before him.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12.
I take it 'tis later, sir.
Hold, take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. Their candles are all out. Take thee that too. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers restrain me in the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend.
What, sir, not yet at rest? The king's abed. He hath been an unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. This diamond he greets your wife withal, by the name of most kind hostess, and shut up in measureless content.
Unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which else would free have wrought.
All's well. I dreamt last night of the 3 weird sisters. To you they have showed some truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it with some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you cleave to my consent when 'tis, it shall make honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchise and allegiance clear. I shall be counseled.
A good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. Belike to you.
Banquo and Fleance exit.
Go bid thy mistress, when my drink is ready, to strike upon the bell, and get thee to bed.
Servant exits.
Is that a dagger I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to fear the sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee still, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshalest me the way that I was, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dungeon gout, which was not so before. There's no such thing. which informs thus to mine eyes. Now over the one half world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtain's sleep. Rich cross celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murder, alarmed by his sentinel, the wolf whose howls his watch thus, with stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides towards his design, moves like ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps which where they walk, for fear the very stones prate of my wearer from the time which now suits it. Whilst I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deed to cold breath gives.
A bell rings.
I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
He exits. Act 2, Scene 2. Enter Lady Macbeth.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace. It was the owl that shrieked the fatal bellman, which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
There! What hope?
Alack, I am afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss him. He had not resembled had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it.
Enter Macbeth with bloody daggers.
My husband?
Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did you not speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended.
I.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donald Bain.
Oh, this is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
As one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers and addressed themselves again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen. The others, as they seen me with these hangman's hands. To their fear I could not say amen when they did say, God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
Wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Thoughts I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth, does murder sleep? The innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the ravelled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life, sore laid, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second cause, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more to all the house. Sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go, get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
Go no more. I am afraid to think on what I have done. Look upon it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gilt the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
She exits with the daggers. Knock within.
Whence is that knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me? Oh, what hands are here? They pluck out my eyes. Will all great Ocean, Neptune's ocean, wash this blood clean from my hand? No. This my hand were rather the multitudinous seizing cardadine, making the green ones red.
Enter Lady Macbeth.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deeds were best not know myself. Wait, Duncan, with thy knocking! I would thou couldst.
They exit. Act 2, Scene 3. Knocking within. Enter a porter.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock.
Yeah, hold on.
Who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Why, is a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time. Have napkins and all about you. You'll sweat for it here. Knock, knock. Who's there in the other devil's name? Faith, here's an equivocator that could swear in both the scales against either scale, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there? Faith, here's an English tailor, come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor. Here you may roast your goose. Knock, 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 never at quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold for hell. I'll devil porter it no further. I had thought to have let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon, anon! I pray you, remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed? That you do lie so late?
Faith, sir, we were carousing till the second cock, and drink, sir, is a great provoker of 3 things.
What 3 things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. It makes him and it mars him. It sets him on and it takes him off. It persuades him and disheartens him, makes him stand to and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in a sleep, and giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir, in the very throat on me. But I requited him for his lie. And I think being too strong for him, though he took up my legs sometime, yet I made a shift to cast him.
Is thy master stirring?
Enter Macbeth.
Our knocking has awakened him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow both.
Is the king stirring, worthy Thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call. For 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today.
He does. He did appoint, sir.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and, as they say, lamentings heard in the air, strange screams of death, and prophesying, with accents terrible, of dire combustion and confused events new hatched to the woeful time. The obscure bird clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Oh, horror! 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 Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke ope the Lord's anointed temple and stolen thence the life of the building.
What is it you say, though?
Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See and then speak yourselves.
Macbeth and Lennox exit.
Awake, awake, ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason! Banquo and Donalbain, Malcolm, awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself. Up, up, and see the great doom's image. Malcolm, Banquo, as from your graves rise up and walk like sprites to countenance this horror. Ring the bell!
The bell rings. Enter Lady Macbeth.
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak, speak.
Oh, gentle lady. 'Tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell.
Enter Banquo.
Banquo, Banquo. Our royal master's murdered.
Woe, lass! What, in our house?
Too cruel anywhere, dear Duff. I prithee contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Enter Macbeth, Lennox, and Ross.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant, there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renowned and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees to brag of.
Enter Malcolm and Donalbain.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
Oh, by whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done't. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood. So were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Where did you so? Wherefore did you so?
Well, who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent was a reason. There lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood. His gashed stabs looked like a breaching nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. They're the murderers, steeped in the colour of their trades, their daggers unmannily breached with gore. Who that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make one's love known?
Help me hence, ho!
Look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues, that most may claim this argument for ours?
What should be spoken here where our fate hid in an auger hole may rush and seize us? Let's away. Our tears are not yet brewed.
Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady, and when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer in exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So all.
Let's briefly put on manly readiness, and meeting the whole together.
Well contented.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. I'll to England.
To Ireland I. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers and men's smiles. The near in blood, the nearer bloody.
This murderous shaft that's shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft, which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
Threescore and 10 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange, but this sore night hath trifled former knowings.
Ah, good Father, thou seest the heavens, as troubled with man's act, threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the traveling lamp, and it's tonight's predominance, where the day's shame, the darkness doth the face of earth entomb, when living light should kiss it?
'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon towering in her pride of place was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauties and swift, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience, as they would make war with mankind.
'Tis said they eat each other.
They did so, to the amazement of mine eyes that looked upon it. Here comes the good Macduff. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why? See you not?
Is known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth has slain.
Alas, the day. What good could they pretend?
They were suborned, Malcolm and Donalbain. The king's 2 sons are stolen away and fled, which put upon them suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still, thriftless ambition that will raven up thine's own lives' means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
Where is Duncan's body?
Carried to Comskill, the sacred storehouse of his predecessors and guardian of their bones.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin, I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old robes sit easier than our new.
Farewell, Father.
God's benison go with you and with those that would make good of bad and friends of foes.
All exit. End of Act 2. Act 3, Scene 1. Enter Banquo.
Thou hast it now, King, Cawdor, Glamis, all as the weird sisters promise, and I fear thou playedst most foully for it. Yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine, why, by the verities on thee made good, May they not be my oracles as well and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Senate sounded. Enter Macbeth as king. Lady Macbeth, Lennox, Ross, lords, and attendants.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast and all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with the most dissoluble tie forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We should have else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council. But we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper. Go not my horse the better, I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour or twain.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, feeling their hero strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hie you to horse, adieu, till you return at night. Ghost fleance with you.
Aye, my good lord, our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so commend you to their backs. Farewell.
Banquo exits.
Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. Why then, God be with you.
The lords and all but Macbeth and a servant exit.
Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men, our...
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us.
Servant exits.
Thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fear in Banquo sticks deep, and in his royalty that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to the dauntless temper of his mind he hath the wisdom that doth guide his valour to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I hear, and under him my genius is rebuked, as it was said Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them, then prophet-like they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I fouled my mind. For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered, put rancors in the vessel of my peace, only for them. And my eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man to make them kings, the seeds of Banquo kings. Rather than so come fate into the list and champion me to the utterance. Who's there?
Enter servant and two murderers.
Now go to the door and stay there till we call.
Servant exits.
Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Now, have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. So I made good to you in our last conference, passed in probation with you how you were born in hand, how crossed, the instruments who wrought with them, and all things else that might to half a soul and to a notion crazed say thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospelled to pray for this good man and his issue, whose heavy hand had bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men, my liege.
Aye, in the catalogue you go for men. As hounds and greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, sloughs, water rugs, and demi-wolves are clept by the name of dog. But the value file distinguishes the swift, the slow, the subtle, the housekeeper, the hunter, and every one according to the gift which bounteous nature hath in him closed. Thereby he does receive particular addition from the bill that writes them all alike. And so of men. Now, if you have a station in the file not in the worst rank of manhood, say it! And I will put that business in your bosoms whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us who wear our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world hath so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another so weary with disasters, tugged with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance to mend it or be rid on it.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against the nearest of life. And though I could, with barefaced power, sweep him from my sight and bid my will avouch it, yet I must not, for certain friends that are both his and mine, whose love I may not drop but wail, who I myself struck down. Thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives...
Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour, at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves, acquaint you with the perfect spy of the time, for the moment on it. For it must be done tonight, and something from the palace always thought that I require a clearness. And from and with him, to leave no rubs nor blotches in the work, Fleance, his son that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart, I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
I'll call upon you straight, abide within.
The murderers exit.
It is concluded, Banquo. Thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
He exits. Act 3, Scene 2. Enter Macbeth's lady and a servant.
Is Banquo gone from court?
Aye, madam, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Madam, I will.
Naughts had, all spend, where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself while our poor malice remains in danger of our former teeth. But let the frame of things disjoint, both the worlds suffer ere we eat our meal in fear and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better to be with the dead, whom we to gain our peace have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel, nor poison, malice, domestic, foreign living, nothing can touch him further.
Come on, gentle, my lord. Sleek o'er your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love. And so I pray be you. Present him let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence, both with eye and tongue. Unsafe the while we must lave our honours in these flattering streams and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his fleance lives.
But in them nature's copies not etern.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums have yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand counsel, and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Like this, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood, good things of day begin to droop and drowse, while night's to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelest at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee go with me.
They exit. Act 3, Scene 3. Enter 3 murderers.
But who did bid thee come with us?
Macbeth?
He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our officers and what we have to do to the direction just.
Then stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the lated traveler apace to gain the timely inn, and near approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark! I hear horses!
Give us a light there, ho!
Then 'tis he. The rest that are within the note of expectation already are in the court.
His horses go about.
Almost a mile. But he does usually, so all men do. From hence to the palace gate make it their walk.
A light! A light!
'Tis he!
I'll stand to it.
It will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
Oh, treachery! Fly, good Fleance, fly! Fly! Thou mayest revenge. Oh, slave.
He dies. Fleance exits.
Who did strike out the light?
Was it not the way?
There's but one down. The sun is fled.
We have lost best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
They exit. Act 3, Scene 4. Banquet prepared. Enter Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, Ross, Lennox, lords, and attendants.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, hearty welcome.
Thanks to your majesty.
With society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends, for my heart speaks they are welcome.
See, here with their heart's thanks. Both sides are even. I will sit in the midst. Be large in mirth. Anon we'll drink and measure the table round. There's blood upon thy face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
Better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. If thou didst that, thou art the non-parial.
Most royal sir, Fleance is scaped.
Then comes my fit again. That hast been perfect. Whole as marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as a casing air. But now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my good lord, safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenched gashes on his head, the least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed, but no teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
The murderer exits.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold that is not often vouched, while 'tis a making, 'tis given with welcome. To feed were best at home, from thence the sauce to meat is ceremony. Meeting were bare without it.
Sweet remembrance. Now, good digestion wait on appetite and health on both.
May it please your highness, sit.
Here had we now our country's honour roofed, who were the graced person of our banquo present, whom I may rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please, to your highness, to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one that dare look upon that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these floss and starts imposters to true fear would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authorized by her grandam. Shame itself! Why do you make such faces when all's done? You look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there, huh? Look. Lo, how say you? Why, if thou canst not speak too, if carnal houses in our graves must send those we bury back, our monuments shall be the moors of kites.
What quite unmanned in folly?
If I stand there, I saw him.
Fie for shame.
Blood has been shed ere now. In the olden time, ere human statute purged the gentle wheel, aye, and since 2 murders have been performed, too terrible for the ear. The time had been that when the brains were out, the man would die, and then an end. But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget.
Our duties and the pledge. Sorry.
Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity which is nothing to those who know me. Come, love, and health to all, and then I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Feel full.
Enter the ghost.
I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here. To all and him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and the pledge.
Avaunt and quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. There has no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare I? Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, or the Herculean tiger. Take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble. Or be alive again, and dare me sword if trembling I inhabit thee. Protest me then the baby of a girl. Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence.
The ghost exits.
Why so? Being gone, I am a man again. I pray you sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be, and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, when now I think you can behold such sights and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
The lords and all but Macbeth and Lady Macbeth exit.
You will have blood, they say. Blood. You will have blood. Have been known to move and trees to speak, and augurers and understood relations have by maggot pies and chows and rooks brought forth the secretest man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning, which is which.
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way. There's not one of them but in his house I keep a servant feed. Will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I'm bent to know by the worst means the worst. For mine own good all causes shall give. I am in blood steeped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go over. Strange things I have in head, that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all nature's sleep.
Come, we'll to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants use. We are yet but young indeed.
They exit. Act 3, Scene 5. Thunder. Enter the witches, meeting Hecate.
Why, how now, Hecate? You look angrily.
Have I not reason, bedlams as you are, saucy and overbold? How did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death? And I, the mistress of your charms, the close contriver of all harms, was never called to bear my part, or show the glory of our art? And which is worse, all you have done hath been but for a wayward son, spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for his own ends, not for you. But make amends now. Get you gone, and at the pit of Archeron meet me in the morning. Thither he will come to know his own destiny. Your vessels and your spells provide, your charms and everything beside. I am for the air. This night I'll spend unto a dismal and fatal end. Great business must be wrought ere noon. Upon the corner of the moon there hangs a vaporous drop profound. I'll catch it ere it come to ground, and that, distilled by magic sleights, shall raise such artificial sprites as by the strength of their illusion shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death, and bear his hopes above wisdom, grace, and fear. And you all know, security is mortal's chiefest enemy. Hark! I am called. My little spirit, see, sits in a foggy cloud and stays for me.
Exit Hecate.
Come, let's make haste. She'll soon be back again.
They exit. Act 3, Scene 6. Enter Lennox and another lord.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther. only, I say, things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth. Marry, he was dead. And the right valiant Banquo walked too late, whom you may say, if please you, Fleance killed, for Fleance fled. Men must not walk too late, who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm and for Donalbain to kill their gracious father. Damned fact, how it did grieve Macbeth. Did he not straight in pious rage the two delinquents tear that were the slaves of drink and thralls of sleep? Was not that nobly done? Aye, and wisely too, for 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men denied. So that I say he has borne all things well. And I do think that had the Duncan sons under his key, as and please heaven he shall not, they should find were to kill a father, so should Fleance. But peace, for from broad words and cause he failed, his presence at the tyrant's feast, I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Sir, can you tell where he bestows himself?
The son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court, and is received of the most pious Edward with such grace that the malevolence of fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither Macduff is gone to pray the holy king upon his aid to wake Northumberland and warlike Seward, that, by the help of these, with him above to ratify the work, we may again give to our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets bloody knives, do faithful homage, and return free honours, all which we pine for now. And this report hath so exasperate the king that he prepares for some attempt of war.
Sent he to Macduff?
He did, and with an absolute, "Sir, not I," the cloudy messenger turns his back and hums, as who should say, "You'll rue the time that clogs me with his answer."
And that well might advise him to a caution, to hold what distance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England and unfold his message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this our suffering country under a hand accursed.
I'll send my prayers with him.
They exit. Act 4, Scene 1. Thunder. Enter the witches 3.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice, and once the hedge pig whined.
Harp your cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go. In the poisoned entrails throw. Toad that under cold stone days and nights has 31 sweltered venom sleeping got. Boil thou first to the charmed pot. Double, double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Fillet of a fenny snake in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, adder's fork and blindworm's sting, lizard's leg and howlet's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble. Double, double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf, of the raven sea salt shark, root of hemlock digged in the dark, liver of blaspheming Jew, gall of goat and slips of yew, slivered in the moon's eclipse, nose of Turk and Tartar's lips, finger of birth strangled babe, ditch delivered by a dreb, make the gruel thick and slab, add thereto a tiger's cauldron for the ingredients of our cauldron, double, double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good.
Oh, well done. I commend your pains, and everyone shall share in the gains. And now about the cauldron. Sing like elves and fairies in a ring, enchanting all that you put in.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes.
Open locks whoever knocks.
Enter Macbeth.
And now, black and midnight hags, what is it ye do?
A deed without a name.
A deed without a name.
A deed without a name.
I conjure you, but you come to know it, answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against us through the yeasty waves, confound and swallow navigation up, though bladed corn be lodged and down, though castles topple on their warders' heads, though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to the foundations, though the treasure of nature's germans tremble together, even till destruction seeker, answer me to that which I will ask you.
Speak.
Demand.
We'll answer.
Say if thou hadst rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call him. Let me see him.
Poor in sow's blood that hath eaten her 9 farrow, grease that sweaten from the murderer's gibbet throw into the flame. Come high or low, thyself and office deathly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought. Hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth! 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 Beware Macduff! Beware the Thane of Fife! Dismiss me! Enough!
He descends.
Whoever thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast half my fear aright, but one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Thunder, second apparition, a bloody child.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth!
And I 3 ears out hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live Macduff. Fear of thee. But yet I'll make assurance doubly sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder.
Thunder. Third apparition, a child cried, with a tree in his hand.
What is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the round and top of sovereignty?
Listen, but
Listen
speak not to it.
Speak not to it.
Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Birnam Wood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
Oh, that will never be. Who can impress the forest, beat the tree on earthbound root? Sweet bodements good. Rebellious dead rise never till rise, and our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall upon you. Let me know. Why sinks that cauldron? What noise is this?
Show.
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 Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like
Show
shadows,
his eyes and grieve
so
his
depart.
heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
A show of 8 kings, the 8th king with a glass in his hand, and Banquo last.
Ah, too much like the spirit of Banquo. Down. Thou hear mine eyeballs, and thy hair. Thou other gold-brown brow is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? A 4th, star eyes. What will a line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another yet, a 7th. I'll see no more. And yet an 8th appears who bears a glass which more. And some I see that twofold bulls and treble scepters carry. A horrible sight! Now I see it is true. For the blood-bolted Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. Or is this so?
Aye, sir, all this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheer we up his sprites and show the best of our delights. I'll charm the air to give a sound while you perform your antic round, that this great king may kindly say our duties did his welcome pay.
The witches dance and vanish.
Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in without there.
Enter Lennox.
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came them not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereupon they ride, and damn it all that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was it who came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Oh, time, thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose ne'er is overtook unless a deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with axe, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, and give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No more boasting like a fool! This deed I'll do before the purpose cool. But no more sights. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me where they are.
They exit. Act 4, Scene 2. Enter Macduff's wife, her son, and Ross.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors. What wisdom! To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansions, and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly? He loves us not. He wants the natural touch. For the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight her young ones in the nest against the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the love. As little is the wisdom, where the flight so runs against all reason.
My dearest coz, I pray you school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble.
He's noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves, when we hold rumor from what we fear, yet know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea, each way and move. I take my leave of you, and shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at the worst will cease, or else climb upward to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessings upon you.
Fathered he is, and yet he's fatherless.
I am so much a fool. Should I stay longer, it would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I take my leave at once.
Sirrah, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mother.
What? With worms and flies?
With what I get, I mean, and so do they.
Poor bird, thou'lt never fear the net nor lime, the pitfall nor the gin.
Why should I, mother? Poor birds, they are not set for. My father is not dead, for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
Then you'll buy him to sell again.
Thou speakest with all thy wit, and yet, if faith, with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor, and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Everyone.
Who must hang then?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and the swearers are fools, for there are liars and swearers enough to beat the honest men and hang them up.
Now, God help thee, poor monkey. But how wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you would not, it were a good sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talk'st.
Enter a messenger.
Bless you, fair dame. I am not to you known, though in your state of honor I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. If you will take a homely man's advice, be not found here. Hence with your little ones. To fright you thus, methinks I am too savage. To do worse to you were foul cruelty, which is too nigh your person. Heaven preserve you, I dare abide no longer.
The messenger exits.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. But I remember now I am in this earthly world, where to do harm is often laudable, to do good sometime accounted dangerous folly. Why then, alas, do I put up that womanly defence to say I have done no harm?
Enter the murderers.
What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayest find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shag-eared villain!
What, you egg? Young fry of treachery?
He has killed me, mother! Run away! I pray you!
Murder! Murder!
Act 4, Scene 3. Enter Malcolm and Macduff.
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and, like good men, bestride our befallen birthnum. Each no more new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it felt Scotland and yelled out like a syllable of dollar.
What I believe, I'll wail. What know, believe, and what I can redress, as I shall find the time to friend, I will. What you have spoke, it may be so, perchance. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me. And wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry God.
I can't hear you. But I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge, but I shall crave your pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell. Through all things foul would wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so.
I have lost my hopes.
Perchance, even there where I did find my doubts, were I in that rawness left you wife and child. Those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave taking? I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonors, but mine own safeties. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Bleed, bleed, poor country! Great tyranny, lay thou thy basest shore. For goodness, dare not check thee. For thy wrongs, the title is afeard. Fare thee well, Lord. I would not be the villain that thou think'st, for the whole space that's in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not as an absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right, and here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread upon a tyrant's head or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer and more sundry ways than ever by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean, in whom I know all the particulars of vice so grafted that when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem pure as snow. In the poor state esteem him as a lamb being compared with my confineless harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avarice, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name, but there's no bottom, none to my voluptuousness. Your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust. In my desire, all continent impediments would o'erbear, and did oppose my will. Better Macbeth than such a one to reign.
Boundless intemperance in nature is tyranny. It hath been the untimely emptying of the happy throne and fall of many kings. But fear not yet to take upon you what is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty, and yet seem cold. The time you may so hoodwink, we have willing dames enough. There cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many as will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so inclined.
With this there grows in my most ill-composed affection such a staunchless avarice that, were I king, I should cut off the nobles from their lands, desire his jewels and his other's house. And my more having would be as a sauce to make me hunger more, that I should forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than summer seeming lust, and it hath been the sword of our slain kings. Yet do not fear. Scotland hath poisons to fill up your will of your mere own. All these are portable, with other graces weighed.
But I have none. The king becoming graces as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in the division of each several crime, acting in many ways. Nay, had I the power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Oh, Scotland, Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern,
Fit
speak.
to govern? No. Not to live. O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody sceptered, when shalt thou see the wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne, by his indictern, stand accursed and does blaspheme his fame. Thy royal father was a most sainted king. The queen that bore thee, oftener upon her knees and on her feet, died every day she lived. Fare thee well. These evils thou art peace upon thyself, hast banished me from Scotland. Oh, my breast, thy hope ends here.
Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. devilish Macbeth, by many of these trains hath sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom plucks me from overcredulous haste. But God above deal between thee and me, for even now I put myself to thy direction, and unspeak mine own detraction. Here abjure the taints and blames I laid upon myself, for strangers to my nature, I am yet unknown to woman. Never was forsworn, scarcely have coveted what was mine known. At no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow, and delight no less in truth than life. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed, before thy here approach, old Seward with 10,000 warlike men already at a point was settling forth, now will together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. 'Tis hard to reconcile.
Well, more anon. Comes the king forth, I pray you.
Aye, sir. There are a crew of wretched souls that stay his cure. Their malady convinces the great assay of art, but at his touch, such sanctity hath heaven given his hand, they presently amend.
I thank you, doctor.
What's the disease he means?
'Tis called the evil, a most miraculous work in this good king, which often since my here remain in England, I have seen him do. How he solicits heaven himself best knows, but strangely visited people, all swollen and ulcerous, pitiful to the eye. The mere despair of surgery he cures, hanging a golden stamp about their necks, put on with holy prayers, and 'tis spoken to the succeeding royalty he leaves the healing benediction. With this strange virtue he hath a heavenly gift of prophecy, and sundry blessings hang about his throne that speak him full of grace.
Enter Ross.
See who comes here.
My countryman, but yet I know him not.
My ever gentle cousin, welcome hither.
I know him now. Good God, betimes remove the means that makes us strangers.
Amen.
Stands Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where nothing but he who knows nothing is once seen to smile, where sighs and groans and shrieks that rent the air are made, not marketed, where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. The dead men's knell is there scarce asked for who, and good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps, dying where'er they sicken.
Oh, relation to nice, and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one.
How does my wife?
Why, well,
And all my children?
well too.
The tyrant hath not battered at their peace?
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
Be not niggard of your speech. How goes't?
When I came hither to transport the tidings, which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out, which was, to my belief, witness the rather for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make our women fight to doff their dire distresses.
We are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good Seward and 10,000 men, an older and a better soldier, none that Christendom gives out.
Would I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that would be howled out in the desert air, where hearing would not latch them.
What concern they? The general cause, or is it a fee grief due to some single breast?
No mind that's honest, but in it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle is surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner were on the quarry of those murdered dear to add the death of you.
Merciful heaven! What man? Ne'er pull your hat upon your brows, give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the o'erfraught heart and bids it break.
My children too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must from thence, my children, my wife killed too.
I have said.
Be comforted. Let us make medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. All my pretty ones? Did you say all? Oh, hellkite, all. What? All my pretty chickens in their dam at one fell swoop.
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so. But I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things that were most precious to me. Did heaven look, I would not take their part. Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee. Not that I am not for my own demerits, for mine. I'll slaughter on their souls, heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger, blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the woman with mine eyes, and braggart with my tongue. But gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. Front to front bring this fiend of Scotland and myself within my sword sling. Set him! If he escape, heaven forgive him too.
This tune goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking. And the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
They exit. End of Act 4. Act 5, Scene 1. Enter a doctor of physic and a waiting gentlewoman.
I have 2 nights watched with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while in the most fastest sleep.
A great perturbation in nature, to receive at once the benefit of sleep and to do the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and any other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You may to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone have no witness to confirm my speech.
Enter Lady Macbeth with a taper.
Lo you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life, fast asleep, observe her. Stand close.
How came she by that light?
Why, it should by her. She has light by her continuously. 'Tis her command.
You see her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense are shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
It is in a accustomed to action with her, to see thus washing her hands. I have known her continue this a quarter of an hour.
Yet, here's the spot.
Hark, she speaks. I will set down what comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out! Damn spot out, I say! 1, 2. Why then, 'tis time to do't. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie. A soldier and afeard. What need we fear who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? What will these hands near be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You're mar all with this starting.
Go to. Go to. You have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not, I am sure of that. Heaven knows she has known.
Here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this hand. Oh, oh, ah!
What a sigh is there! The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Oh, well, well, well.
Pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice. Yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo's buried. He cannot come out on his grave.
Even so?
To bed. To bed! There's knocking at the gate. Come, 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 come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed.
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she the divine than the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her. Remove from her the means of all annoyance and still keep eyes upon her. So, good night. My mind she has mated and amazed my sight. I think, but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
They exit. Act 5, Scene 2. Drum and Colours. Enter Menteith, Caithness, Angus, Lennox, and soldiers.
The English power is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Seward, and the good Macduff. Revenge is burning them, for their dear causes would to the bleeding and the grim alarm excite the mortified man.
Near Burnham Wood shall we meet them. That way are they coming.
Who knows?
Who knows if Donalbain will be with his brother?
Certain, sir, he is not. I have a file of all the gentry. There is Seward's son, and many unrough youths that even now protest their first of manhood.
I'm not even in.
What does the tyrant?
Great Dunsinane he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad, others that lesser hate him do call it valiant fury. But for certain he cannot buckle his distempered cause with the belt of rule. Now does he feel his secret murder sticking on his hands. Now minutely revolts upbraid his faith breach. Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him, like a giant's robe upon a dwarfish thief.
Who then shall blame his pestered senses to recoil and start, when all that is within him does condemn him itself for being there?
Well, march we on, to give obedience where 'tis truly owed. Meet with the medicine of the sickly wheel, and with him pour we in our country's purge, each drop of us.
Or so much as make we our march towards Burnham.
They exit, marching. Act 5, Scene 3. Enter Macbeth, the doctor, and attendants.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Burnham Wood remove to Dunserdane, I cannot taint with fear. Where's that boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall ever have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon. Where gottest thou that goose look?
There is 10,000.
Geese, villain?
Soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face and overread thy fear, thou lily-livered boy. What soldiers, Patch? Death of my soul, these linen cheeks of thine art counsellors to fear. What soldiers, wave-face?
The English force, so please you.
Take thy face hence. Satan! I am sick at heart when I behold. Satan, I say! Oh, this push will cheer me ever or deceit me now. I have lived long enough. My way of life has fallen into the sear, the yellow leaf, and that which should accompany old age is love, honor, obedience, troops of friends I must not look to have, but in their stead, curses, not loud but deep, mouth honor, breath which the poor heart would fain deny and dare not. Satan!
Enter Satan.
What's your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is conformed, my lord, which was reported.
Will I fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked? Give me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
I'll put it on. Send out more horses. Scur the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Give me my armor. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick coming fancies that keep her from rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased, pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow, raise out the written troubles of the brain with some sweet oblivious antidote, cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff that weighs upon the heart?
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs, I'll none of it. Come, put my armor on. Give me my staff. Satan, send out. Doctor, the thanes fly from me. Come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. Pull it off, I say. What rhubarb, senna, or what purgative drug could scour these English hens? Hearest thou of them?
Aye, my good lord. Your royal preparation makes us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane, till Burnham Wood come to Dunserdane.
Were I from Dunsinane away and clear, profit again should hardly draw me here.
They exit. Act 5, Scene 4. Drum and colours. Enter Malcolm, Seward, Macduff, Seward's son, Mantaith, Katniss, Angus, and soldiers. Mark.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand and the chambers will be safe.
We doubt it nothing.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host, and make discovery err in report of us.
It shall be done. We learn no other, but the confident tyrant keeps still in Dunsinane, and will endure our setting down before it.
This is main hope, for where there is advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt, and none serve with him but constrained things, whose hearts are absent too.
Let our just censors attend the true event, and put we on industrious soldiership.
The time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thoughts speculative their unsure hopes relate, but certain issues strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
They exit, marching. Act 5, Scene 5. Enter Macbeth, Satan, and soldiers, with drum and colours.
All our banners on the outward walls, the cries, still they come. Our castle's strength will laugh as scorn to siege. Here let them lie till famine and ague do eat them up. Were they not forced with those who should be ours, we might have met them dareful beard to beard and beat them backward home. What is that noise?
It is the cry of women, my good lord.
I'd almost forgot the taste of fears. The time had been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at dismal treaties rouse and stir as life were in it. I have sucked for years. Direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts cannot at once start me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Enter a messenger.
Thou comes to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me endure your wrath if it be not so. Within this 3 mile may you see it coming. I say, a moving grove.
If thou speakst false, upon the next tree shall they hang alive till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost from me as much. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham wood come to Dunsinane, and now wood comes towards Dunsinane. Arm! Arm and out! If this which he avouches does appear, there is no flying hence nor tarrying here. I begin to grow aweary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell! Blow wind, come rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back.
They exit. Act 5, Scene 6. Drum and colours. Enter Malcolm, Seward, Macduff, and their army with bows.
Now near enough. Your leafy screens throw down and show like those you are. You, worthy uncle, shall with my cousin, your right noble son, lead our first battle. Worthy Macduff and we shall take upon what else remains to do, according to our order.
Fare you well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight, let us be beaten if we cannot fight.
Make our trumpets speak. Give them all breath. Those clamors harbingers of blood and death.
They exit. Alarums continued. Act 5, Scene 7. Enter Macbeth.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? Such a one I am to fear, or none.
Enter young Seward.
What is thy name?
Thou be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou call'st thyself a hotter name than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou liest, abhorred tyrant. With my sword I'll prove the lie thou speakest.
They fight, and young Seward is slain.
Thou was born of woman. But swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by man that's of a woman born.
He exits. Alarums enter Macduff.
That way the noise is. Tyrant, show thy face. If thou be slain and with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns, whose arms am hired to bear their staffs. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword, with an unbattered edge, I sheath again undeeded. There thou shouldst be. By this great clatter, one of greatest note seems bruited. Let me find him fortune, and more I beg not.
He exits. Alarums enter Malcolm and Seward.
This way, my lord. The castle's gently rendered. The tyrant's people on both sides do fight. The noble thanes do bravely in the war. The day almost itself professes yours, and little is to do.
We've met the foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
They exit. Alarum. Act 5, Scene 8. Enter Macbeth.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whilst I see lives, the gashes do better upon them.
Enter Macduff.
Turn, hellhound, turn!
Of all men else I have avoided thee. But get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is my sword. Thou bloodier villain, that terms can give thee out.
Fight. Alarum.
Thou losest labour. As easy mayest thou the entrenchant air with thy keen sword impress as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thy charm, and let the angel, whom thou still hast served, tell thee Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Accursed be thy tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed the better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believe that palter with us in double sense and keep the promise of our word to our ear and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward. I live to be the show and gaze at the time. We'll have thee as rarer monsters are painted upon a pole and underwrit, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield. To kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet or be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham would come to Dunsinane and thou opposed being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and Dan be him who cries, hold, enough.
They exit, fighting, alarums. They enter fighting, and Macbeth is slain. Macduff exits, carrying off Macbeth's body. Retreat and flourish. Enter with the drum and colours Malcolm, Seward, Ross, thanes, and soldiers.
I would the friends we miss were safe arrived.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed
Then he is dead.
Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
Had he his hurts before?
Aye, on the front.
Why then, God's soldier be he. Had I as many sons as I have hairs, I would not wish them a fairer death. And so his knell is knolled.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He is worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score, and so God be with him. Here comes newer comfort.
Enter Macduff with Macbeth's head.
Hail, King! For so thou art. Behold where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutations in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail,
King of Scotland!
We shall not spend a large expanse of time before we reckon with your several loves and make us even with you all. My thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first ever that Scotland in such an honor named. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who as 'tis thought by self and violent hands took off her life. This, and what needful else that calls upon us, by the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all at once, and to each one whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.
All exit.
Thank you for joining us for Macbeth. We'd once again like to thank all of the actors who have volunteered to read with us this evening. We're so appreciative. Thank you for doing this with us. If you all want to find out more information about our totally volunteer organization, visit our website, zenithplayers.com. Feel free to visit our very attractive donations page to help keep live art alive. If you'd like to be involved in a future project like this and be one of our readers, send an email to casting@zenithplayers.com. We want to give major thanks to your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare for guiding us through the play. You can visit his website at shakespeareapproves.com. You can also show him some love at patreon.com/Shakespeare. We are looking forward to his April 23rd live online performance of Romeo and Juliet, the Flying Implement of Doom edition.
Oh, it's going to be stupid.
It's going to be stupid, says the man himself. We want to continue to express our support to everyone out there who is fighting to keep us all safe so that we can keep doing this. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much. Join us next Saturday for Taming of the Shrew. Thank you and good night.